Greetings and peace and good on this Holy Saturday from the Shrine of St. Anthony here in Ellicott City, Maryland, and in our chapel today. Holy Saturday is an interesting day. We've just been through, and if you've viewed the other videos, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, the institution of the Eucharist, the Passion narrative, Jesus offering himself, and now this day of quiet, as we anticipate the becoming of Easter, which we will celebrate tonight, and even in our liturgy today. It's a quiet day. There's no Mass today, not until tonight for Easter. It's a relatively quiet day. But think about what's behind the quiet, though. Think about back in the time of Jesus, what was going on Holy Saturday. One of the earliest texts we have in the Christian era, after the scriptures themselves, is a homily from this day. And I'd like to read this to you and then offer a few words at the end. Something strange is happening. There is a great silence on earth today, a great silence and stillness. The whole earth keeps silence because the King is asleep. The earth trembled and is still because God has fallen asleep in the flesh, and he has raised up all who have slept ever since the world began. God has died in the flesh, and hell trembles with fear. He has gone to search for our first parents, as for a lost sheep. Greatly desiring to visit those who live in darkness and in the shadow of death, he has gone to free from sorrow the captives Adam and Eve. He who was both God and the son of Eve. The Lord approached them bearing the cross, the weapon that had won him the victory. At the sight of him, Adam, the first man he had created, struck his breast in terror and cried out to everyone, "My Lord be with you all." Christ answered him, "And with your spirit." He took him by the hand and raised him up, saying, "Awake, O sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. I am your God, who for your sake have become your Son. Out of love for you and for your descendants, I now, by my own authority, command all who are held in bondage to come forth, all who are in darkness to be enlightened, all who are sleeping to arise. I order you, O sleeper, to awake. I did not create you to be held a prisoner in hell. Rise from the dead, for I am the life of the dead. Rise up, work of my hands, you who were created in my image. Rise, let us leave this place, for you are in me and I am in you. Together we form only one person, and we cannot be separated. For your sake, I, your God, became your son. I, the Lord, took the form of a slave. I, whose home is above the heavens, descended to the earth and beneath the earth. For your sake, for the sake of man, I became like a man without help, free among the dead. For the sake of you who left a garden, I was betrayed in a garden, and I was crucified in a garden. See on my face the spittle I received, in order to restore you the life I once breathed into you. See there the marks of the blows I received, in order to refashion your warped nature into my image. On my back, see the marks of the scourging I endured to remove the burden of sin that weighs upon your back. See my hands nailed firmly to a tree, for you who once wickedly stretched out your hand to a tree. I slept on the cross, and a sword pierced my side for you, who slept in paradise and brought forth Eve from your side. My side has healed the pain in yours. My sleep will rouse you from your sleep in hell. The sword that pierced me has sheathed the sword that was turned against you. Rise, let us leave this place. The enemy led you out of the earthly paradise. I will not restore you to that paradise, but I will enthrone you in heaven. I forbade you the tree that was only a symbol of life. But see, I who am life itself am now one with you. I appointed cherubim to guard you as slaves are guarded, but now I make them worship you as God. The throne formed by the cherubim awaits you, its bearers swift and eager. The bridal chamber is adorned, the banquet is ready. The eternal dwelling places are prepared. The treasure houses of all good things lie open. The kingdom of heaven has been prepared for you from all eternity. What a powerfully wonderful, beautiful story, a way of telling something that we profess every time we say the creed. After we reference that Jesus died, we say he descended to the dead. And we hear this wonderful story that happened on that first Holy Saturday. The Lord, bearing his cross, goes to Adam and Eve, bearing the wounds of the marks of his suffering, the marks of his wounds, liberating them from heaven. But the interesting thing about this is, would they have recognized him? The answer is yes. Why? Because in our Christian tradition, we believe that this is not the first time that Adam and Eve met the Lord, but rather in the garden itself. In some of the early imagery of telling the story of Genesis, it's Christ himself who fashions Adam and Eve. It's Christ himself who leads them and prepares the garden. And it's Christ himself who sends them out. This was not their first encounter with Jesus, as it were. But this time, he leads them home. After so many centuries, however long a period, the tale tells, as it were. Have you ever wondered what this was? This little fold in your skin? There's a wonderful tradition from the Jewish mystical tradition that this little section here under your nose was placed there by God. Your soul was in heaven before you were born. You were in heaven. That's not Christian belief. We don't believe in pre-existence of souls, but it's a lovely tradition anyway. The souls were there in heaven, and God said, look around. And then he said, like that, and pressed your lips closed. And we were ordered to forget in a certain sense, and it's sent into the world, but with that longing to go home. Adam and Eve knew that longing, but so do we. On this quiet day of Holy Saturday, it's worthy to reflect upon that, to reflect upon that longing that we have inherently within us, that this is not our home, as beautiful as it can be, and we await the Lord to come with the cross, to come with his wounds, to lead us who are wounded to the eternity of peace. May God bless you.